Good evening and welcome to the Ohio Hockey pregame show. We are back at Bird Arena, senior weekend, Ethan, and senior night here about to ensue in about 20 minutes. We've got three of them, Jake Fiala, Drew Crandall, and Mike Blasix, who will be honored here. And then we will look forward to another great game of hockey. The Fighting Illini of Illinois back in town for the second of two. Bobcats getting out to a good start last night. They take away a 5-3 victory on the strength of two Mike Blasix power play goals, 2 goals from Tom Picorni, and Timmy Thurnell, who got a short-handed empty net goal to round out the scoring. But if you want to walk fans through the game last night, what you thought the Bobcats did well and what you thought the Illini did well too.
Well, I thought both teams came out playing really physically. The first 5 minutes of this game were like a track meet. Things started to slow down. Ohio took a couple of questionable penalties in the first period, as did Illinois. Refs were quick with the whistle all night, let's be honest. But Ohio would eventually go down 3-2. But how about the third period that the Bobcats had? It's come back, 3 goals, 2 from Tom Picorni, Timmy Thurnell with the empty netter. It was truly an exciting game, and I'm sure they'll want to get another win as we celebrate the careers of Jake Fiala, Drew Crandall, and Mike Blasix here on home ice today. Yeah, 3 very special seniors. Looking forward to big games from all of them. But we talked about last night the Bobcats were down 1-0 at the end of 1, 3-2 at the end of 2. We saw that resiliency on display. Tom Picorni getting a quick goal to start action in the third period, his first of the season, and he was really energized after that, able to bury his second in as many minutes it seemed. He really just poured it on for the Bobcats, and quickly it was 4-3. They were able to nurse that lead till the very end. Jimmy Thomas, his 24th win of the season. He's going to get the nod again in net. His 33rd start, that is tops in the ACHA. He is just an iron horse for the Bobcats. But yeah, we saw a great deal from a lot of different players last night in the lineup. We saw that first line with Mike Blasix contributing. You saw that second line with Brian Lubin, sound on the face-off, sound on the forecheck as well. That fourth line of Garrett Jenkins, Zach Frank, and Drew Crandall in the mix for the Bobcats offensively too. Really, nothing's changing for Coach Hogan tonight. It's been the same for the last couple of weeks. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The lineups are going to stay the same that they were last night, but serious depth up and down the lineup for Ohio, and it definitely showed last night. Yeah, it's kind of strange to say because Ohio's down 2 of their skaters already short-handed. Jake Houston out nursing a shoulder injury. We hope to get him back as we inch closer to ACHA and CSCHL tournament time. Kyle Craddock out with a long-term injury as well. But you look at that Houston subtraction on the blue line. One of their top power play goal producers, he's out, and they're only down to 5 defensemen with Tom Evans now returning to the team this semester. It's been really impressive what these 5 defensemen have been able to do from top to bottom. You look at Grant Hazel and Jake Fiala eating up a majority of the ice time there in that first pair, if you could even call it that. And then Tom Picorni also getting a significant amount of ice time, 20 or 25 minutes a game. We mentioned he got those 2 goals last night, but Fiala and Hazel both playing really good offensively in addition to their classic defensive play. We saw Hazel pick up a couple of power play goals last week and had a strong game last night, as did Fiala. Really started to jump up on the rush as the game went on. How about Baird and Gross too? You know, they play a little bit more minutes than those top 3 guys, but they were able to hold their own out there and do more than hold their own. Nick Gross near the top of this team lead in plus minus, and Sean Baird always physical. Good to have Baird out there to mix things up and make sure the opposing team stays in check. Nick Gross with 2 assists last night. He pushes his points total to 21 on the season. He's one of 4 Bobcat defensemen with 20-plus points. That is definitely a storyline that Coach Hogan likes to read. But 11-plus guys on the team who have registered 20-plus points. Leading all of them is Gianni Evangelesti. He was held scoreless last night by the Fighting Illini, still with 43 on the season. He is pacing all Bobcat scores. Not too far behind him is Tyler Harkins, 38 points for number 22. He was buzzing like a bee last night, a thorn in the side of the Illini defenders. That cycle game we talked about yesterday, the Bobcats took a while to establish it. In the third period, they really got off to a good start, and they were able to get some momentum down low in the offensive zone. I think it really does start with guys like Evangelesti and Harkins, those guys who are relentless on the puck, who are always sniffing out those loose biscuits, getting to the action first. And I think that those guys are good examples for the rest of the team to follow here tonight. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, and we saw Ohio get more creative with how they entered the zone, and they found a lot of that momentum in addition to their creativity entering the offensive zone. On the power play, 2 quick power play goals from Mike Pulisic, in the span of just a couple of minutes, really got this team going last night. Illinois controlled the game early, which is something we rarely see. You know, you might have to look back to the last time Ohio did visit Champaign, that 7-1 loss, but that Ohio really failed to take control of the game early going. But they were able to take control of that game last night, able to draw some penalties, a lot of penalties last night, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, so if they get on the power play, that will help them establish themselves in the zone. But let's hope that they can do it even strength, make life a whole lot easier.
Bobcats 2 for 8 on the power play last night. Illinois had 7 opportunities, cashed in on 1 of them. Definitely a lot of penalties, a lot of pushing and shoving. We saw David Heflin go down for the Illini. He will not be in the lineup tonight. Jake Barnhart filling in for number 29. So we're going to get a goaltending change here tonight. Barnhart on in relief, made 2 saves yesterday. Didn't have to see much action. He didn't factor in the loss, but he is going to be in net nonetheless. A 5-0 record for him, perfect, pristine record, and he's got a really stellar goals against average as well, a .8 goals against average and a .953 save percentage. So those are some good numbers. Bobcats on paper have a tough challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for Illinois, though, conversely, to move forward without Heflin, kind of like the Jimmy Thomas type situation with Ohio. Such a solid presence for them all season really is going to make life tough for them moving forward if Heflin's out long term. But something that the Illini does have a surplus of is backup goaltending. We talked about Jake Barnhart, very good, more than competent, has great numbers. So does the other guy, Ross Lippick. God forbid they have another goalie go down tonight. So goaltending, definitely something to watch for Illinois. They play a net-out game, and they were really able to insert that strategy early in the game last night. Great defensive play all through the game, really until the last 20 minutes there by the Illini. A couple of bad breaks on the blue line plays. McCourty was able to take advantage of one. Turnout took advantage of one, eventually buried the empty netter to seal the game. So, you know, Illinois going to have to play strong in front of their backup goalie.
We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we will have some keys to the game and some players to watch out for here on Ohio Bobcat Hockey pregame show. are back at Bird Arena, 15 minutes until puck drop with Ethan Graham. I am Shane Dazen, and we are getting ready for the second of 2 games against the Fighting Illini. Last night the Bobcats got the job done 5-3, and as we look forward to tonight's matchup, Ethan, we're talking about some players to watch out for. First, for the Fighting Illini, who really stood out for you on the lineup for them last night?
Well, I think James McKing has had a really good season all around. You look at this guy, possesses a significant amount of skill. I mean, he's everywhere on the ice, has some of the best hands we've seen in the ACHA. Additionally, Joe Rittendale found himself in the box a little bit, the captain of this team, number 2 defenseman, big-bodied guy. But when he wasn't in the box, he had some really great minutes, scored that first goal, crashing the net. And I look for Illinois to continue crashing the net as we saw them do a lot during the game last night. It ended up with some successful scoring chances for them.
Yeah, their leading point getter, Robert Ernsting, came off the ice late there in the third. He was clutching his right elbow. Back in the lineup tonight on the top line for the Illini. A few lineup changes that we'll go over in a little bit there, but he will be healthy for them. Same cannot be said about David Heflin, as we mentioned earlier. Barnhart gets the start and net for him tonight. But looking back to the Illini's lines, Tommy Kolaz up on top with Luke Forfar tonight with Ernsting. So a little bit of a switch up here. Do you think that that line is going to pay immediate dividends? Forfar did really well on the penalty kill yesterday. He was blocking a ton of shots.
Yeah, Forfar's been hot lately. He scored a couple of goals last weekend. Was around the net all night, like you said, when Illinois did have to go down a man. He was responsive all night. Another lineup change we should mention for Illinois, Chance Omerin played some really good minutes for them last night, not in the lineup tonight.
Chance Omerin not in the lineup as well. There you have it, folks. For the Bobcats, everything's hunky-dory, same as yesterday, but we'll break it down in case you guys didn't catch it. On the first line, Gianni Evangelesti will be centering Timmy Thurnau, who scored his 10th goal of the season, shorthanded, empty netter last night. Mike Palasic had 2 as well. He will be on the left side to round out that first line. Mike Palasic, 28 points on the season, a new career high for him. As we look to senior night here tonight, what do you expect from number 28? Do you think he's going to bring some more fireworks?
Yeah, I think all 3 of the seniors are going to be operating at 100% intensity, particularly Palasic's 2 power play goals last night. Always a fiery guy, always willing to open up the shot. Has a nice slap shot, an underrated slap shot. It doesn't go without noticing from us up here. So yeah, Mike Palasic's really strong game last night. Look for him to build on that last regular season home game at Ocean C. Bird Arena for him. So he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder like he was last night.
Can't believe it's coming to a close
I know,
so quickly.
I know.
It feels like it was just yesterday we're calling the first game of the season, and here we are in the final regular season contest. But second line, Brian Lubin will be centering Matt Rudin and Tyler Harkins. This line is a point-producing machine. These 3 guys played really well together.
Yeah, Lubin's an absolute rock. You know what you're going to get with him every night. Good defensive pressure with good offensive skill and the ability to push the puck down the ice and open up a few odd man rushes. Tyler Harkins, -3 2 games ago. Last time when Ohio played Illinois, 2 contests with Illinois, he's looking to get back on the score sheet, fix that plus-minus rating. Very strong line, that second line. Very strong top 6.
And to fill out the bottom 6, Cody Black will start things out on the third line. Gabe Lampron to his right, Garrett Elmore to his left. Elmore, he's got 18 points on the season, 10 goals for him. Lampron, similar statistics as well. The depth scoring has really been a key area for Ohio this season. This third line, much like the second line, can really bring it, and they're tenacious.
Yeah, they played really well all season, but a bit of a tough night last night for the wingers on that line. Lampron and Elmore, both -2, the only Bobcats I believe to be in the minus and the plus-minus category. So look out for them. I'm sure they're going to be motivated.
We'll see if they can rebound. On the fourth line, Zach Frank, Drew Crandall, and Garrett Jenkins round out the forward unit. On the defense, we're going to have Grant Hazel, Jake Fiella, Tom Picorni, Nick Gross, and Sean Bayer, the usual suspects, back on the blue line. Jake Fiella out again, and we'll see if he will be ready for the CSCHL tournament in a few weeks. Bobcats have 1 more weekend on the road before the tournament is set to take place here at Bird Arena. All those guys will be in front of Jimmy Thomas, as we mentioned, his 33rd start of the season, 24-7-1, 199 goals against, and he's having himself an MVP-like year.
Yeah, I'd say if anyone has to be the MVP of this Bobcats hockey team, it has to be Jimmy Thomas. Made a couple of ridiculous saves in the first period last night during the penalty kill for Ohio. Could be looking at a completely different game if it wasn't for Thomas last night.
We are going to take another quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly with the start of the national anthem and the announcement of the starting lineups.
Oh God.
Wins and 13 losses and 5 ties here at Burt Arena. They have also competed in 3 straight ACHA national tournaments and played in the ACHA national finals last season for the first time since 2004. Please forgive me, I got the bronchitis and ain't nobody got time for that. Before we introduce our senior student athletes, Ohio Hockey would like to recognize Graduate Assistant Athletic Trainer Reese Hayes. Reese will be leaving Ohio Hockey at the end of this season as he graduates with a master's degree in athletic training. He is currently exploring opportunities to work in NCAA athletics as an athletic trainer. Reese wishes to thank his wife Kelsey for her support as he pursued his master's degree and worked with the hockey program at Ohio University. Let's hear it for Reese Hayes. Now let's introduce our Ohio Hockey senior student athletes. First up tonight, we have number 15, Ohio Hockey senior forward and Sylvania, Ohio native, Drew Crandall. Drew came to Ohio in 2014 and made an immediate impact for Ohio, appearing in 34 games his freshman year and netting 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points. In total, Drew has appeared in 112 games for Ohio Hockey, totaling 15 goals, 15 assists for 30 points. He is majoring in accounting with a minor in finance and is leaving the Bobcats and joining PricewaterhouseCoopers in Columbus, Ohio. Drew wants to thank the Blue Line Boosters and the fans for their support over the last 4 years. He would also like to thank Coach Hogan and his teammates for making his experience so memorable. Most importantly, Drew would like to thank his mom, dad, and sister for the endless love and support. He will miss how Ohio Hockey is a giant community and how the program has introduced him to so many great people over the years. But mostly, he will miss suiting up at Burt Arena on Friday and Saturday nights. Drew is joined on ice by his parents, Bob and Sue. Let's hear it for number 15, Drew Crandall. Next up, we have number 17, the captain of Ohio Hockey and Hinckley, Ohio native, Jake Fiella. Jake joined Ohio Hockey in 2014 and grew into one of Ohio Hockey's most dominant defensemen. He is one of the great captains and leaders in Ohio Hockey history. Jake has appeared in 134 games for the Bobcats, posting 21 goals, 49 assists for a total of 60 points. He wishes to thank his parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins for their support over the years. He also wishes to thank the Blue Line Boosters and Ohio University students for their continued support. As well as his teammates and coaching staff, Jake is looking forward to an opportunity to work in a career in law enforcement upon graduation. Jake states, "Playing for Ohio hockey has been very special to me. The support we get from our fans is second to none. The thing Jake will miss most is his teammates. They have truly become a part of his family, and he will never forget them." Senior citizen Jake is joined by his parents, Jerry and Jill Fiella. Let's hear it again for your captain, Jake Fiella! And last but certainly not least, we have number 28, Ohio hockey assistant captain and Parma, Ohio native, Mike Paulesson. Mike came to Ohio University in 2014 because he wanted to be a part of a winning tradition and have a chance to compete for a national championship. Mike has appeared in 117 games and has posted 32 goals and 39 assists for 71 points. Mike plans to join the military after graduation as an officer in the United States Marine Corps and a naval aviator. Mike states that Ohio hockey has meant everything to me. It has felt like I have a second family here for 4 years, and it'll be hard to see it all end. What I'll miss most is spending every day with the boys, whether it be at Bird or elsewhere. They always made coming to the rink every day something to look forward to, which is something I'll miss deeply when my time here is done. Mike said that his most memorable moment at Ohio has been playing in the national championship game last season, stating that the national championship run was the most fun and memorable week of hockey I've had in my entire career. Mike is joined by his dad Steve, mother Nancy, and sister Ashley. Let's hear it for assistant captain, Mike Paulesson! The seniors will take a group photo on ice, and then we'll begin the normal procedure for games here at Bird Arena. If you weren't here last night for the game, the Bobcats stomped down the Illinois Fighting Illini. Come from behind victory, which led to Ohio's 7th straight win in this 60th anniversary season. Let's hear it one more time for the senior class of your Ohio Bobcats! Bird Arena would now like to welcome to the ice the University of Illinois. Welcome to Bird Arena for the 60th anniversary season of Ohio hockey. Tonight we welcome the University of Illinois to Athens. Illinois has traveled here to take on your number 4 nationally ranked Ohio Bobcats. And now, hockey fans, it's time to meet the visitors. Starting for Illinois, on defense number 5, Joey Caprio. On defense number 22, Tyler Opilka. At left wing, number 26, Thomas Kolaz. At right wing, number 44, Luke Forfar. At center, number 24, Robert Ernsting. In goal, number 1, Jake Barnhart. Illinois is coached by the fighting Nick Fabrini. The starting lineup for your Ohio Bobcats! At left defense from Ann Arbor, Michigan, number 4, Tommy Bacorny. At right defense from Hinckley, Ohio, number 17, your captain, the father, Jake Viola. At left wing from Parma, Ohio, number 28, assistant captain Mike Pulaskic. At right wing from Sylvania, Ohio, senior number 15, Drew Crandall. At center from Dublin, Ohio, number 7, Johnny Evangelisti. And standing tall between the pipes, your goaltender from Waterville, Ohio, number 30, Jimmy Thomas. The Bobcats are coached by Sean Hogan with assistant coaches, The Hand, and Michael Harris. Please welcome to the ice, Max and 2-year-old Orion for tonight's ceremonial first puck. This weekend's proud sponsor is Power 105 WXCQ Real Music Variety. Max McDuran and Orion are here to represent Power 105. Tune in at 105.5 FM or online at WXTQ.com. You can also get an in-depth look at Ohio hockey every Wednesday at 7:30 during the Power 105 Hockey Coaches Show with head coach Sean Hogan and hosted by Ohio hockey alum Ryan Boyd. Live, local, and loud, dial into Power 105. We are Real Music Variety. Can you let AJ through here? Singing of the national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be sung by Athens High School student AJ Huck.
And there you have it, folks, a very special ceremony and an even more beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Great job there by Athens High School student AJ Huck. But certainly not a dry eye in the building after all that. A great senior night here at Bird Arena. Mike Pulaskic, Jake Fiella, and Drew Crandall all being honored on the ice. And we're about to start action here as the referees meet at center red. For the Bobcats, that first line of Gianni Evangelisti, Timmy Thurnau, and Mike Pulaskic will start up front on the back end. Tom Picorni and Jake Fiala in front of Jimmy Thomas.
Yeah, an exciting night of hockey ahead of us. Gianni Evangelisti getting the start on the ice tonight. Referees are Anthony Victor, Corey Rennan, and Kyle Walsh.
Puck dropped, and we are underway. Face off in the neutral zone. Bobcats first to the puck, high off the glass and into Illinois' head. Deep is number 28, Mike Pulisic, in on the forecheck. Bobcats first to the puck. Crandall up to Fiala at the point. Shot, loose puck, saved by Barnhart to the corner. Goes the biscuit. Evangelisti recovers. Gets the puck to 17. Shot off the blocker of Barnhart to the right and out to the Bobcat zone.
All three of the seniors getting the first shift tonight. You know, I'd like to make a difference right away.
Turned over to Tyler Harkins. He's got a man. That is number 15. That was Crandall driving to the right post. Barnhart with the initial save. Puck blown dead by the rest. Face off out to his left.
Don't know if Barnhart had complete control of that puck. Don't know if it was completely frozen before the whistle was blown, but nonetheless, Ohio will get a face-off upcoming to Barnhart's left. Brian Lubin will take it.
And Harkins almost made the Illini pay for that costly mistake. Turning over the puck at the top of the zone. The Bobcats had a 2-on-0, unable to capitalize. 1 minute off the clock in the opening frame. Out here is the second line of Lubin, Rudin, and Harkins. Bobcats see that puck float by the stick of Sean Bayard. Back to retrieve is Nick Gross. He will dig it out of the corner and get it to the middle of the ice. Lubin having trouble corralling it, and he will dish it back to Gross.
But Shane, you get the sense it's going to be another physical night here at Bird Arena. Here comes Lubin.
Lubin with the speed shot. Saved by Barnhart. Rebound out to the Illini over the blue line in. And to the Bobcat zone is Stu, leaving it for McGing. Bayard with pressure. That puck loose to the corner. Pinching is Graham. And to the stick of McGing behind the net. Thomas looks on. Strong arming on the backhand is number 13. Sweeping it back toward the slot. Picked up by Richter. And we'll see what he'll be able to do with it. Having trouble getting to the puck. Leaves it at the point. And back is Kellner as he circles the zone out. Richter can't get to it.
Illinois with some good zone time here, Shane. First team to establish the forecheck.
Salk on the backhand. Playing catch below the goal line is Kellner and Richter. Up for Graham. And engaging was Rudin. He gets in the wave. Shot loose. Kellner back to the net. Saved by Thomas. And he gets back to his feet. Bobcats take it from the hash. Up top and out of the zone. A flurry of activity down by Jimmy Thomas's crease. He was there to answer the bell.
Yeah, he sure was. Ohio needed that clear badly. Going to try and get things going down the other end of the ice now. They were getting tired out there, Shane.
Joe Nolan looks his options over. Richter takes the puck in the neutral zone. Last night we saw the Illini with too many men on the ice, almost guilty of that infraction again as they have a bad change, but they get back to the bench. Bobcats back to the defensive zone as the Illini continue on. Scrum in the corner. Two Bobcats in to try to dig the puck out. Cody Black and Grant Hazel. And going the other way with it is Jake Fiala, the captain, able to get it up to Elmore and out of the zone. Loose biscuit ricochets off a few bodies and back toward Jake Barnhart.
Barnhart had a tough situation he came into last night. Heflin getting hurt late in the third period. Barnhart able to come on and make some saves. Was not hit with a loss, though.
And saddling the puck was Tom Picorni, flipped it into the bench for a whistle. We mentioned Tom Picorni with 2 goals last night. His first 2 of the season pushes his season point total to 6.
Tom's been playing good hockey lately, especially here on home ice. Had 2 goals last night, including the one to give Ohio the lead late in that game.
Taking on a bigger role with Jake Houston out of the lineup. We're seeing that offensive side of number 4's game. Reminds me a lot of a guy like Brian Doolin, somebody who's not afraid to carry the puck into the zone. He really led the charge on numerous occasions last night. He's out here again for the Bobcats over the stick of Pokorny. Forfar chunked one in the slot. Back to the point and out. Illinois regroups. That is Opilka backtracking into his own end.
Ohio tried to pin Illinois deep in their zone. They're definitely coming out more aggressive than they did the first 5 minutes of last night's game, leading the shot clock 4-0 right now.
Opilka in the entry. Saved by Thomas on the low shot by number 22. We get a whistle here with 15:23 remaining in the first period. Shots 4-1 in favor of the Bobcats. It has been a back and forth game through the first 5 minutes. Neither side with a premium scoring chance, but a flurry of activities in front of Thomas at one point. The Bobcats on a 2-on-0. Saved by Barnhart as well. So a couple fireworks here. We'll see if we can get the big bomb.
Always some.
McGing evading a crashing Gianni Evangelesti. He rattled the glass as he tried to put the body on number 13. Bobcats in their own end now. Hazel losing the puck battle to Kellner. Back to the point for Nolan. That one off a Bobcat to the corner. Picked up by 19. And flipped for McGing behind the net. To the point for Rittendale. He scored last night, his 5th of the season. Over to his partner, Joe Nolan. Nolan can't keep the biscuit. He retains the puck in the neutral zone. And back the other way goes Kellner. Circling the wagon and putting one on net. Jimmy Thomas gets a piece of it. The Bobcats try to break out here. A couple guys heading to the benches. Evangelesti heads into the zone. He gets it deep. Harkins and Rudin on the forecheck, and Rudin will pick off that pass. Harkins over on the other side. Can't take the feed. Illinois up and out. And Tom Pokorny and Brian Lubin are back.
Pokorny got beat to the puck on that icing there by Joe Rittendale.
Pokorny able to get it up for Lubin. Number 10 speed evident as he walks into the zone, leaves it for Pokorny. Shot by number 4. Saved by the blocker of Barnhart. Arm up by the referee. And we're going to get a whistle here.
It's going to be a slash. I'm not sure who it's against yet. I think
who
it's
it
Illinois.
Will be against. Number 7 for the Illini, Stephen Quinn heading to the box. Quinn, not much of a factor last night. Did not see any ice time for Illinois. His night gets off to a bad start. 2 minutes in the sin bin for a slash. Bobcats out on the power play. And we saw how effective that quick strike power play can be for Ohio last night. Mike Pulisic with 2 of his own to pace all Bobcat scores.
Yeah, we saw Ohio really use the power play to get going last night. Good chance to score the first goal and fire the first shot in this game, Shane.
Illinois got out to the 1-0 lead yesterday. Ohio looking to do the same here tonight. This would be a good spot to get that first goal on the man advantage. Tyler Harkins, Matt Rudin out here for Ohio, along with Hazel and Fiella. Evangelisti stalking on the right-hand wall. From Fiella to Hazel into the zone. Hazel gets it deep. And Harkins watches it back up top to number 3. Cross ice to Evangelesti. He's got room to make a play. Over to Gross. And back to Hazel on the left circle. Evangelisti calls for the puck. McGing trying to cut away the neutral area of the ice in the middle. Shot and an incredible goal by Harkins. Are you kidding me? What an absolute snipe by number 22. Goal line and in for the power play beauty. 1-0 lead, Ohio.
I have no idea how Tyler was able to put that puck in the back of the net. It looked like Barnhart did a textbook job of taking away the angle, but somehow number 22 in those hands able to put the puck behind Barnhart, make it 1-0 here for Ohio. 12:32 remaining in the first period. A power play goal for Tyler Harkins. Power play really working this weekend for Ohio.
And double trouble from number 22, Tyler Harkins. His 16th of the season gives Ohio the 1-0 advantage on the power play. What a start for the Bobcats, exactly what the doctor ordered. And 6-2 are the shots now in favor of the Hunter Green and White. Illinois back to the neutral zone as play ensues. Gross out here for the Bobcats, factoring in on that power play, made a couple nice passes to set up what would be the cross-ice pass from Hazel down low to Harkins, but great start for the Bobcats. Jimmy Thomas for the whistle. Illinois player goes down. Some pushing and shoving by the Bobcats center Cody Black, taking exception to Stephen Quinn.
Great play there by Mark Condati earlier in that shift to keep that puck in right as it almost crossed the blue line. Looks like Cody Black is being escorted off here by one of the referees.
Not happy with something is number 18. He's headed to the sin bin. We'll see what the Illini can do with their power play opportunity. Moments after surrendering the first goal of the evening to the Bobcats on the man advantage, the Illini head out with 5 on the ice. Bobcats counter with 4 thanks to the 2-minute minor to Cody Black. Illinois 1 for 7 on the power play last night. Joey Caprio scoring his 2nd of the season for the Illini to tie the game at 2 halfway through the 2nd period. And he's not out here for the Illini presently. On the ice, number 10, Drew Richter, 15, Eric Kreutschak, 44, Luke Forfar. Backing them up is McGing and Opilka.
Good play there by Rudin. Illinois has very simple power play. They're just going to try and get the puck to the middle of the ice and get the best scoring chance possible.
Evangelisti hopping through the neutral zone as he heads to the bench. Pressured Opilka. Opilka turns the puck over to the Bobcats. Batted back in by Lubin. And he heads back down the ice. Forechecking is number 10. And doing a great job on the penalty kill, keeping that puck deep and chewing clock.
We've seen Ohio be very aggressive on the penalty kill this weekend, pulling that center, going deep, chasing the puck, making it very hard to break out. It was Black last night, Lubin tonight.
Timothy now out here for Ohio, clogging the lane with the loose twig. Playing pass at the point. Kolaz on the backhand. Could not get much on the attempt. Over the stick of Nolan and out of the zone. Bobcats head to the bench. Plasix and Evangelisti out here as forwards. Captain Jake Fiala and Tom Picorni on the back end. Approaching the halfway point of the first period. 12 seconds remaining on the power play for the Illini. The Bobcats looking to kill off the last couple ticks of the clock here on the man advantage, and they will be able to do so. Out of the box is Black. Ernstig turning the puck over. Evangelisti picking it up, trying to center one. And the Illini get back. Richter able to intercept Evangelisti's.
We've seen a couple of nice scoring chances come out of the penalty box last week and a goal last night.
Evangelisti all alone. Tucked save by Barnhart. Big save there by number 1. Able to get that left toe out, or excuse me, right toe out to make the stop. Evangelisti tried to put the fakes on, and Barnhart was having none of it. Turned over by Fiala. The Illini have a chance out in front. Quinn could not find the puck between his feet. Another shot there by the Illini, and a save by Thomas. That was Novosel, who had a goal last night, putting the rubber on number 30. We get a whistle here. 2
completely different hockey games last night. We saw a very dense checking game in the first period. Tonight, wide open hockey. Scoring chances galore, odd man rushes galore the last couple of shifts there. Don't want to ever be turning the puck over, but especially to Gianni Evangelisti. Illinois got let off the hook there. Surprised he didn't bury that one.
And Evangelisti taking the draw in his own zone. Novosel countering, and we're going to get a false start there. We'll have a redo. Last night, we noticed the Bobcats having trouble making their way through the neutral zone at times. Looks like they tighten that deficiency up here heading into tonight's action. Over the first 10 or so minutes, they've had no problem skating into the Illini's end.
And it starts with winning the neutral zone like we talked about last night. Ohio doing a much better job of keeping the pressure on the defensive zone and employing a nice breakout through the neutral zone uninterrupted at times.
Race back to get the puck. Bobcats win the battle. Floating in the air, picked up by Gross over the blue line and into the Illini's zone. Orange and blue look on as the puck rattles around the boards. Graham picks it up. He finds a streaking Kellner across Ohio's zone to the corner for Candotti, and he turns it over to Zach Frank, the Bobcats center, trying to settle things down here for Ohio. Nice spin off of his man was Matt Rudin. That was a skill play in the defensive zone. Loose puck to the stick of Salk and to the point for Candotti through a couple bodies in the slot. Illinois possessing the puck in the offensive end here. The Bobcats having some trouble catching up to the biscuit. Kellner gets there first once more and around Frank and Gross. Strong arming to the net, turning around shot there, saved by Thomas, and taking exception to Salk's entrance to the crease was Baird. And that was a great shift by the Illini. They had a stream of pressure on Jimmy Thomas as the Bobcats looked exasperated trying to get a whistle.
Salk is going to be heading off to the box for Illinois. It looks like it was a slashing penalty. Ohio going back to the power play, looking for power play goal number 4 of this weekend, Shane.
And that's what happens when you go into that crease. You could end up getting called on it, and the refs choosing to blow the whistle on Salk. And his badgering of Jimmy Thomas was not a good idea in the long run. We'll see if he thinks twice about it next time. Jimmy Thomas out here putting the paddle down on the puck as it comes to his crease. Bobcats back to the power play. We mentioned that they scored twice on the man advantage last night, both from Mike Pulisic. Once already here this evening, looking for another power play and as many opportunities. And that puck will hit up top, and we've got it here up in the booth, folks. Ethan Graham, you feeling that one?
I almost made a nice play. I had a good opportunity to make a play on a puck last night, but that one hit me
Adam,
right in the palm of my hand and able to reel that one in. It's been a few years since I've been on the old baseball diamond.
And yeah, your chest might have saved somebody in the back there. So thanks for taking one for the team there, Adam. Yeah, it's always fun when we get one up here. We almost had an opportunity for a puck yesterday.
I know, that's what I was saying.
We got our wish here tonight. Glad it didn't come in any hotter.
It was coming in spicy, though.
2018, no things are not spicy. That's a fact. 7:11 remaining in the first period. Bobcats still on the power play. Matt Rudin can't catch up to the puck through the slot. 1:10 remaining on the power play for Ohio. This puck will stay on along the ice, not come into the box. Bobcats turn around, and they've got numbers here as Jake Fiala tries to retrieve the biscuit. Illinois gets back to evade trouble, and that one will clank off the rafters for another whistle. Illinois still trying to adjust to these low-rising pieces of metal hanging off Bert Arena.
Yeah, Ohio caught a break there. That puck was going to be set back down. Illinois was going to get it changed, but that puck hitting the rafters, like you mentioned, face-off now coming. Brian Lubin unable to control it.
Illinois on the face-off, out of the zone, and up for David Kellner. We've seen him try to take the Bobcats' pocket a couple times. Back for it is Caprio, and we're going to get a whistle as Opilka touches the puck. Out of the net is Jimmy Thomas. He hit it to the corner. Not sure.
Looks like it might have been a hand pass or something.
What exactly the whistle was for, but nonetheless, the face-off back to the Bobcats' end. One on by Ohio. Nick Gross pressuring Tommy Kolas, takes the puck away from number 26, moves it up for Mike Pulisic. He tried to find Lubin out front. And Barnhart watches the puck to the corner. Black and Pulisic dig it out for the Bobcats. Up top to Picorni. Back for Pulisic. Winds up shot. Barnhart save. Loose biscuit out to the side of the net. Played on by Lubin and blown dead prematurely with a second left on the power play. We're going to get a whistle. And the Bobcats disagree with the referee's assessment of that play. They thought they had a chance to keep that one going.
Yeah, Kyle Walsh immediately pointed to his chest, indicating that that was his bad. A lot of the fans thought that puck went in, but it grazed the back of the net. And unfortunately, that puck did not go in, as we have a face-off upcoming. Gianni Evangelisi is going to take this one. Pulisic being dispatched onto the ice. He's going to flank Timmy Turneau.
The Bobcats can win this draw, which they do. They might have a second to get a shot off on the man advantage. That opportunity will go to the wayside as Fiala directs one toward the net. Bobcats back to even strength. Another shot by Fiala. Blocker down by Barnhart. Number 17 getting a feel for his rifle game there as he sent a couple Barnhart's way. He's back on the ice along with Sean Bayard for the Bobcats. Timmy Thurnau, Gianni Evangelisi, and Tyler Harkins to play up front. And Evangelisi catching up to the puck. And the referees say
we had something happen behind the play with Sean Baird. And number 15, Eric Cruikshank.
Cruikshank softly to the bench.
Baird's headed to the box.
Baird to the box. So Ohio will be back on the shorthanded side of things here as Illinois sends Cruikshank to the box too. Correcting ourselves. Looks as though we could have a 4-on-4 out here, and both sides will indeed throw 4 on the ice. So matching minors to Cruikshank and Bayard, the two both getting called out for disrupting the pace of play. With 5 minutes and change remaining in the first period, things are going to open up a little bit for both clubs.
I think it is an advantage for Ohio. Ohio have a smaller speed, but they do have an advantage in the speed.
Speaking of speed, Rudin turning around and briskly entering the zone. Illinois able to keep him away from Barnhart. They take the puck off his twig and put it on their own Tyler Opilka. He walks all the way to the net. Save by Thomas. As that one rode up on his shoulder, he was able to squeeze it between his glove and his helmet for the save.
Great offensive chance by Tyler Opilka, bobbing and weaving like a prize fighter through the neutral zone and getting that puck on Jimmy Thomas. Save made by Thomas.
Opilka, a very skilled defenseman. He's got himself 27 points on the season and a second on the Illini amongst forwards and defensemen. So that really says something about his offensive prowess. We saw it on display there. The Bobcats have a defenseman of their own who is able to walk the puck in, and that is Tom Picorni. He flicks it toward the net, and Tom Picorni, watching on his Barnhart, falls on it. We saw a similar situation last night where Heflin was pushed over the line as there was a flurry in front of him and a dead whistle. Barnhart looked to be firmly ahead of that red goal line for the save this time around, but nonetheless, he was badgered down low as the Bobcats looked to try to get that loose puck out.
It's a good scoring chance. Picorni, there he is again, jumping up in the rush.
Shot by Picorni off the faceoff, fluttering over the goal mouth, picked up by Lubin. He's doing his best ballerina impression out here, spinning around in the offensive zone. Bobcats get a shot off. That was Lampron unleashing the rubber biscuit. Back out to the neutral zone, played on by the Illini, and they'll try to find their way back up the ice. With it is Richter, the leading goal scorer for Illinois, around Hazel, looking for space behind the cage. And to the corner goes Richter. He's sandwiched by Picorni. Tom Picorni making his presence felt on the offensive and defensive front.
Yeah, Tom Picorni having a great two-way weekend. He's a great two-way player. As that puck teed up by Barnhart, Illinois going to try once again.
14 seconds remaining on the matching Miners. Stu can't come up with the puck. He'll circle back and leave it for McGing at the blue line. Opilka over into the Bobcats zone toward Jimmy Thomas. McGing in the corner, rattling off of Hazel's leg to the other side for Gross. Up the wall for Elmore. And the Bobcats do get it out. Tucking it over the blue line was Drew Crandall.
That one dumped back in, teed up by Thomas. Illinois really having a tough time establishing themselves in the second half of the period in the Bobcats zone. They've had some zone time, but really not getting a lot of pucks to the net, or as many as they'd like. Ohio leads the shot clock 10-7.
2 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the period. Barnhart over to the wall for Ernsting. Excuse me, that was number 14, Novosel, sweeping the puck upward. Playing it on is Candotti. Novosel trying to catch up to it in front of Thomas. That puck loose again at the mouth of the crease. Candotti able to put it through the legs of number 30. The second chance attempt by the Illini squeaks through for the first Illinois goal of the evening. Candotti scores his first of the year to give Illinois a chance in this hockey game. Tied up at 1 here with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first.
Illinois crashed net, scored some goals that way last night. They do it again tonight. Candotti able to corral that rebound at 5-0. Jimmy Thomas, we got a tie game. Huge goal late in the period. 2:15 remaining. It's 1-1.
Jimmy Thomas almost had it. He tried his best to squeeze those legs and ended up just trickling over the goal line for the Illini strike. Candotti, his first of the season. Illinois looking to gain some momentum from the play. They have the puck again as time ticks off the clock. Under 2 minutes to play in the first period. The Bobcats on the ensuing shift will try to reestablish some might here as they kike it to the goal mouth. Barnhart guides it away. Mike Palasic would not be denied there as he trudged it along. Heading back to the benches, Palasic, and he'll pick up the puck at the blue line, leave it for Evangelisti, and come off. Harkins, Rudin, and Lubin out here for Ohio. Over the outstretched arm of 22, picked up by senior captain Jake Fiella, and he's the first in for Ohio. Down behind Tucker Barnhart, and falling on the biscuit is number 17. He badgers Rittendale, comes away with the puck. Shot from the point, looked like that one hit the post or the side of the netting. Bobcats with pressure again here. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Picked up by the Illini. Richter over the blue line and whiffs on the pass to Ernsting, and they get it back up top to Opilka. Kellner cannot corral it. 33 seconds left on the clock. The Bobcats trying to get it out of the zone. Illinois looking for one last strike before the end of the period. That one stays in play as time continues to run here. Referee's going to let them go. To the hash on the left side. Kellner turns it over to Picorni. They have Harkins and Lubin streaking toward the net. Instead, they go to Rudin, drag down. And we're going to get a whistle here. It looks like Illinois will be called for taking Matt Rudin down.
Yeah, Joey Caprio clearly hooked his man to the ice. And Ohio will spend the last 6.7 seconds of this period on the power play. Probably time for a quick shot if they win this face-off, but a nice minute and 53, minute and 54, whatever have you, to start off the second period. Ohio looking to stay hot on the man advantage. A goal tonight, 2 last night. Try to make it 4 in one weekend. When this power play gets hot, they get hot.
And you never want to take a penalty with seconds remaining on the clock if you are the Illini, but that was probably a smart penalty to take. Matt Rudin with speed through the slot as he took the feed from Harkins. Had a great opportunity to put that one in the basket. Illinois doing the responsible thing, trying to interrupt him, and we're going to get the final buzzer in the first period as the Bobcats and the Fighting Illini play to a 1-1 tie after 20. Ohio first to strike. Illinois answering before the end of the first period, but taking a costly penalty. Ohio will head to the power play in the second.
Yeah, very even period. I thought Ohio played very well the first half of that period, but the second half of that period, particularly the last couple of minutes there, got trapped in their own zone, got tired. Thankfully, Jimmy Thomas making all the saves but one on that Mark Candati goal, his first of the season. That was assisted by Alex Mosklik as well. And Tyler Harkins opening the scoring on the power play, Ohio's third power play goal of this weekend. That was assisted by Cody Black.
Tyler Harkins with an incredibly difficult shot to pull off. It was that goal line, no angle look from number 22. He was able to rattle it off high shoulder, maybe off the bucket to sneak it in up top to give the Bobcats that 1-0 advantage. Big goal for Ohio, and you want to see more of that skill, creativity type play from the Bobcats trying to crack Jake Barnhart. He has been good so far for the Illini, stopping a plethora of shots so far to this point, making 9 saves for the orange and blue. Jimmy Thomas equally as well on the other side, making 8 of 9 stops for the Bobcats. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to break down the action in the first period and get you set for the second period. Fighting Illini 1, Ohio 1 at the end of 1. thank you for coming back to us, folks. First intermission about to unwind here at Bird Arena. 1-1 tie at the end of one, Ethan. We saw a pretty competitive game of hockey. Shots 10-9 in favor of Ohio at the end of one. Goal scorer for the Bobcats, none other than Tyler Harkins, his team leading 16th goal of the season. And the Illini were able to capitalize at the end. Mark Candotti squeezing one between the legs of Jimmy Thomas to knot things up. They take a crucial penalty at the end of one, though. Bobcats heading back to the power play to start things off in the second.
Yeah, it's been a power play that's been successful all weekend. A goal here tonight, 2 by Pulisic last night. But to walk you through those last 2 goals, if you missed any of the action in the first period, shame on you, first off, but we'll fix it right now. Tyler Harkins getting that power play goal down low. Not really sure how he buried this puck. He absolutely had no angle on it. Put it past the goaltender. It was a great goal. Tyler Harkins, great hands. Definitely an area of his game he's improved a lot this season. The second goal came late in the period. Mark Candotti bearing a rebound, slipping it through the pads of Jimmy Thomas. 5-holed him on a rebound, assisted by Alex Moskalik to tie it up at one. Harkins' goal, assisted by Cody Black as well, I should mention.
And as we look forward to the second period of play, you know the old song and dance, Ethan. Who are you looking for Illinois to try to break this one out in the open, and who you think that Ohio can throw on the ice to try to get them the lead?
I'll start with the Illini. I thought David Kellner looked really strong in that first period, utilizing his speed, chasing the puck. Seems like we said his name an extensive amount. He had an assist last night. I would be surprised if he didn't find his name onto the score sheet, whether that be in a goal or an assist the last 40 minutes here. For Ohio, I think Tyler Harkins has been motivated. He hasn't scored in a couple games since earlier in that first period. I think he's very motivated, willing to play. And I think you got to point out all 3 of the seniors, right? Drew Crandall, Jake Fella, Mike Pulisic, all definitely wanting to go on a high note as they all play their last regular season home game here at Osai Bird Arena. We just want to take a moment. I know I speak for you on this. How lucky we are to be able to broadcast these guys' home games. It's not about us, it's about them. And it really is a pleasure. I'll remember calling these games for the rest of my life. It's where we got our start, and I'll remember calling these 3 Drew, Mike, and Jake's games for the rest of our lives. So I just want to thank them and their families for all the time, money, commitments they put into Ohio Bobcats hockey. We will all miss them when they're gone. Come back and visit.
Yeah, we saw all of them and their moms there on the ice in the first period. It was hilarious to kind of hark back on some memories. I remember running into one Jake Faella up at Wendy's my freshman year.
Yeah.
And we are obviously in the same grade, if you will. We're both seniors this year, it was really funny to see like me on campus back then. Baby face, clean cut,
yeah.
And then there's just this rugged mountain man, Jake Faella, well above his years in looks, in appearance, and in personality too. He's just a stand-up individual. He's a true leader, and I think somebody that the Bobcats are lucky to have. So Jake Faella, want to wish you a very happy senior night, along with Mike Pulisic and Drew Crandall. I can't say enough about those 3. We've had a lot of fun covering them, and we're looking forward to some more fun here at Bird Arena. 1-1 hockey game. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will send it back to the ice. Illini and Bobcats set to start the second period. 20 minutes on the board, a minute and 54 on the other side for the Illini. Heading to the box for Illinois, number 5, Joey Caprio, will sit for the start of the second period. Ohio on the power play to begin things here in the second frame. If you're just joining us, 1-1 hockey game, thanks to a goal from Tyler Harkins and an answer by Mark Condotti. Out here for the Illini, Robert Ernsting at center wins the draw. And we are underway in the second. Grant Hazel back to pick up the puck, leading the charge for the Bobcats is Matt Rudin hiding along the goal line, or along the blue line, excuse me, on the opposite end. Over the outstretched stick of Fiala, Ernsting badgering him back to the Bobcat zone, and number 24 for the Illini getting to the puck, able to move it deeper behind Thomas. Bobcats break out. This is Evangelisti.
Good speed, nice play.
Rittendale, and that puck cannot find Tyler Harkins. Evangelisti with a skill play to get it in deep. Ohio gonna have to head back to pick up the biscuit. Twisting Eric Cruikshank was Grant Hazel. Bobcats get the loose puck. Harkins flipping it to Mike Belasik, picked up by Gross. Shot through Jake Barnhart's outstretched right arm. Jimmy Thomas settling it in his own end. 38 seconds remaining on the power play for the Bobcats. Trying to find some semblance here at the start of the second period. Have not had much time in the offensive zone here on the power play.
No, they haven't, but Nick Gross with a shot attempt on that last rush. He's been doing a great job of elevating that shot all weekend and all year from the point.
Nick Gross heads to the bench. Tom Picorni heads back to pick up the puck through the Bobcats defense. And 9 seconds left on the man advantage. Ohio may have one opportunity left in them as Evangelisti cannot corral the puck. Sean Bayard skates back Jimmy Thomas's end. And Ohio come up empty-handed on the power play. Illinois gets the kill and puts a fifth man back on the ice.
Ice surface really becoming a factor. So it's starting to wear down, particularly on the south end of the ice, the end that Barnhart's on in front of the American flag.
Last night's D2 game canceled because of the paltry ice conditions. And I'm sure they got their game in today. I'm actually positive of that, but nonetheless, that ice not looking much better here tonight. We see it withering on the Bobcat side of things here. As Illinois comes down, loose stick, Rittendale loses his twig and heads back to the bench. Not sure if that one snapped on him or not, but he'll leave it in front of Thomas. And Jimmy Thomas will give it back to the Illini. Bobcats in Barnhart's end. And a whack there by Picorni, and he is going to head to the box for that sin. Number 4, Tom Picorni, administering a heavy-handed slash to the Illini's Drew Richter, and we're going to get a penalty.
Yeah, clear trip from Picorni there, just trying to slow down the Illini skater. Cannot do that. Illinois goes back to the power play. They scored a power play goal last night, but Ohio looked very good down a man. And a lot of that just because of guys like Matt Rudin and Fiala out there right now.
Ohio is able to kill off the first couple Illinois power play opportunities of the night. And getting into the lane was Jake Fiala. Illinois able to keep the puck in the zone. Forfar and Cruikshank down low for the Illini. Joining them is McGing. And he leaves the puck for Nick Gross. And Gross flicks it back up top. Arm up for the ref, and that one went over the line. Pilka cannot keep. And that one is blown dead.
So we have a stoppage in play here. 16:27 remaining in the second period. Tie game 1-1. Just want to thank everyone tuning in for AVW Presents Hockey tonight, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. Truly do appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us. Give us a like, share, and comment. We appreciate it.
Good game that you all are watching at home as the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Ohio Bobcats are tied up at 1 at Byrd Arena on this Saturday evening, senior night here at Ohio University, honoring Mike Kalasics, Jake Fiala, and Drew Crandall. Ohio looking for its 8th straight victory, one that would put them to 26-7-1 as they head into their final regular season weekend next week. Illinois trying to regain some footing in the CSCHL, heading into the tournament. They're 3rd in the division. Jimmy Thomas makes a big save on the gang. Opelka with the loose puck up top. Another save by Thomas. Cannot keep the rebound, but it comes out of the zone. Break for the Bobcats as Bayard heads back to the bench. Hazel and Fiala out on the defense for Ohio. Kolaz, Stuve, and Kellner playing forward for the Illini.
Best penalty killer has to be your goalie. It certainly was last night for Ohio.
Speaking of Kolaz, shot rings off the post. Jimmy Thomas will thank his iron later as the Illini continue to pressure by the crease. That was a good opportunity for Kolaz. He found himself all alone in the slot. Nobody but the iron to deny him.
Golden opportunity. I'm sure he'd like to have it back.
Kolaz with another attempt toward the net, blockered by Jake Fiala. That one comes to the wall. Kellner can't get the release as Harkins strips him of the biscuit, walking it in and depositing it toward the cage is Matt Rudin. And Rudin rings the boards in the offensive zone. That puck back to the neutral zone and into Ohio's end. And Cruikshank shoots it and scores. Excuse me, that may be Stuve trying to see through the melee. And that is number 19, David Kellner, who is able to rip that one through the slot for the goal.
David Kellner's been having himself a huge weekend. We've seen Illinois have a number of guys with great shot accuracy. Kellner, another one, buries that biscuit in the basket. Ohio down again like they were last night. It's 2-1. Illinois 14-22 and running here. Second period.
Illinois racing the 1-0 lead for the Bobcats, taking a 1-goal lead of their own. And if I'm correct in my assumption, that was Kellner who got the goal, his 6th of the season, to give the Illini the advantage. Bobcats will try to answer as Garrett Elmore and the third liner out here now for Coach Hogan. Elmore able to get it deep. The Illini get back. Quinn touches up on the puck and moves it to Candotti.
Shane getting word now that Illinois goal was scored by Kellner with assists by Tom Kolaz and Grant Stuve. Kellner for Kolaz and Stuve.
High stick on the puck. Illinois first to touch it. And the ref's arm comes down. Jake Fiala picking it up at the top of his own zone. Playing it on for Jenkins, and the two cannot connect. Kellner back on the ice for the Illini. In on the melee. To his knees is Sulk as he watches the puck back to the orange and blue zone. Crandall and Frank down low for Ohio in the left corner. Out with it is Opelka. And that one over the rafters. That one still in play as the Bobcats look to thread the seam.
Ohio really struggling to win the neutral zone this period as that play is whistled offsides. And Coach Fabrini is clearly upset on the Illinois bench. I think he wants a penalty of some sort, and he'll get one. No, he won't. Top corner, he appeared as if he was heading to the box, but took a sharp left turn for the Bobcats bench.
And as we approach the halfway point of this contest, 12:34 remaining in the second period, shots 15-13 in favor of the Illini this period, 6-3 in favor of Illinois. But nonetheless, Ohio only down a goal as they pressure in the Illini's end. Shot sent away by Barnhart, coming off the stick of Hazel. That heavy release from the point. Has scored 8 times this year for Ohio. He could be somebody the Bobcats look to get the puck to here as Timothy now comes through. Squeezed by Barnhart for the whistle. Timothy now scoring yesterday, walking through the neutral zone and into the offensive end with speed.
Yeah, Turnow doing a good job of protecting that puck. It's easy to do when you have a 6'1", 190 frame. Timmy Turnow really stepping into his game here in the second half of the season. He's been one of the Bobcats' strongest offensive assets since the return from winter break.
And keeping it away from the Illini is Fiala, pushing and shoving. No penalty on the play. McGing down on the ice, puck in the back of the net. Mike Pulisic getting back to basics, burying the biscuit to tie this hockey game at 2. McGing down on the blue line, and Illinois got caught napping there as play continued on in the offensive zone. McGing was looking for a whistle. Mike Pulisic came up with some puck luck as he found the biscuit on his stick, and he knew what to do with it.
Yeah, never a bad idea in hockey to find the middle of the ice. Just go there and skate there. It's a good place to be. Hockey's a game where positioning is so important, and Pulisic's able to just wind up with a slap shot, bury that one. His first of the evening, his third of the weekend. Looks like there's some Illinois players clearly upset. McGing is not having any of it.
James McGing took a shot, or what appeared to be a shot, from Jake Fiala at the top of the point. It was a high hit from the Bobcats defenseman. And he was looking for a call from the outset of that play. The refs didn't give him any lip service as the Bobcats capitalized on Illinois looking for a call. Save made by Barnhart there for the whistle, but nonetheless, Mike Pulisic gets credit for the goal, his 14th of the season, 3rd of the weekend. He's having himself a crazy nice senior weekend. We saw his mom out there scoring a goal in the first intermission. All the Pulisics are having fun here tonight.
Yeah, Mike going out with a bang, ending his ACHA regular season career here with a trifecta of goals across 2 days. He's going to look to add on to that tonight. 11:23 remaining in the second period. It's tied.
Slapper by Bayard, blocked down by the Illini. They will take the puck the other way. Dragged down to the ice with Stephen Quinn. And the refs are going to give them the even up call that they were looking for earlier here. Interference administered to the Bobcats. 2 minutes in the sin bin for Ohio. Looks to be number 13, Nick Gross, who will be heading to the box. Nick Gross, one of Ohio's better penalty killers. Certainly not somebody you want to see having to take a seat for 2 minutes. Illinois, who had a power play goal last night, has had a few opportunities to this point, has not been successful on too many of them. Ohio with a pretty good penalty kill to start things off here in the Saturday night contest. But if you keep giving them opportunities, sooner or later they're going to find the back of the net. A 24% clip on the season for the Illini power play unit. Certainly some of the better numbers in the ACHA.
Completely agree, Shane. Got to stay out of the box if you're Ohio.
And Illinois setting up shop in the offensive zone to start things off on the power play. Kolaz up to Nolan, shot by Nolan, doesn't get its way through. Jake Fiala in front of that, and another blast by number 27, sent away off the backboards. Illinois with possession, down low is Ernsting, and he walks over his options, decides to give it back to Nolan, number 27, with a couple shots here on the power play. That one over his outstretched arm. The Illini will have to regroup.
A great play there by Cody Black to get a stick on that one and send it out of the zone. Cody Black has been the Bobcats' best skater on the penalty kill this weekend, no doubt about that.
Ohio looking keep Illinois at bay here as 1 minute is off the clock on the power play. In first is Salk for the Illini. Joining him is Richter, leading goal scorer for Illinois. Trying to put one through the feet of Rudin. And that Rudin stopped his progression. Salk there for the assist. Forfar with the shot, saved by Thomas. Richter down on the ice, smothered by Bayard. We're going to get a whistle. Great opportunity there for the Illini. Forfar knowing what to do with the puck on his stick. A great one-time feed by Richter to number 44. Jimmy Thomas with an even better save.
Yeah, Luke Forfar is not a guy you want to see in the scoring area. Thankfully, Jimmy Thomas able to throw up both of his hands and use his noggin in combination to stop that puck. 9:50 remaining here in the second. We're just halfway home in regulation.
Shots 17 all, and I distinctly remember last night, Ethan, at 10 minutes even in the second period, shots were 15 apiece for both sides, scored 2 all. I think that's been very indicative of this weekend. A very tight set of hockey games here at Bird Arena as Richter takes a puck shot into the logo at OHIO of Jimmy Thomas for the save.
Yeah, last night's game 5-3, but one of those goals on an empty netter by Tim Thurnau, and more of the same stuff. Tight hockey game tonight. Sean Barrett looks like he may be getting escorted off to the box. He's not pleased. I was just going to the bench.
15 seconds remaining on the power play for the Illini, trying to salvage a man advantage here as Cruikshank is booted out of the faceoff circle. Luke Forfar in for relief. Forfar sparring with Evangelista. They having trouble getting this one off. Finally, the ref drops the puck, and the Illini move forward with it. McGing behind the net. With him is Cruikshank. Engaging. McGing was Fiala. Number 13 finds the puck on his stick once more. Fiala with a great defensive effort. Chips on high off the glass. Gets it to the circle for Evangelisti. And the Bobcats thread the seam out of the zone, killing off the power play and getting back to even strength. Shot there by Hazel as they enter Barnhart's side of the ice. Rudin in the corner along with Jenkins, and tossed along the ice by Cruikshank goes Matt Rudin. Arm up by the refs for the whistle. We're going to get a penalty and a power play for the Bobcats.
It's a shame that Illinois touched the puck up there. That was a great forecheck Ohio had going, started there by Matt Rudin. Relentless pressure on the puck led to that Hazel shot. Referees calling a significant amount of penalties this weekend, more than we're accustomed to see here in ACHA games.
A 2-minute penalty
administered
to Cruikshank for Ohio's power play.
That fourth goal of the hockey game, and the one that tied it up for Ohio, was scored by Mike Palasic, assisted by Gianni Evangelisti and Jake Fiala. That's Palasic from Evangelisti and Fiala.
So Ohio out here looking for its second power play goal of the evening. Harkins scored on the man advantage to start off the night for Ohio, his 16th of the season. Illinois and Eric Cruikshank 2 minutes in the box for cross-checking to give Ohio another opportunity out here now.
Cruikshank, not a guy Illinois wants to go off. He's been strong all weekend.
10 goals on the season for Eric Cruikshank. Somebody that you want with a puck on your stick and not in the box. Ohio trying to make Illinois pay for that one. That one out of play into the stands. Everybody seems to be fine there as they take a look at their souvenir.
Good poke by Joe Rittendale there. He had Brian Lubin behind him flanking to the net. That poke check to send that puck out of play may have prevented a breakaway. Good play there by the captain of the Illini.
Cody Black directing traffic for the Bobcats. McCorney takes the face-off from number 18. Ohio moves forward with it. 8 minutes left in the second period. The Bobcats in the Illini zone. Richter gets to the puck along the left wall, but the Bobcats able to pick it off. Tom McCorney rings one off the post. Harkins collects the loose puck takes it to the point for Fayel on the two-play catch. Back along the other side of the ice, Cody Black behind the goal line, engaging Caprio. Helping him out is Picorni. And coming away with it was Tommy Kolaz. Connecting with Opilka over the red line. Stripped by Tom Picorni. He comes in, shot by Picorni, blocked by Caprio. 18 seconds remaining on the penalties to both sides. 4-on-4 on the ice here. We thought that was a power play. It turns out the Bobcats were also administered a 2-minute minor. So nonetheless, both sides will head back to even strength hockey here. 5 apiece as Crookshank comes out of the box and Drew Crandall jumps off the bench for the Bobcats. Joe Nolan looked one way and dished it off the other. McGing over Cruikshank into the zone, spinning off Picorni and Frank, finding number 15, feed to Rittendale, and number 2 chunked it over the net.
Yeah, Joe couldn't calm that puck down. Unfortunately for Ohio, that one went wide as Picorni will dump this one in. Crandall will give chase.
6:20 left in the period. Arm up by the referees, and Nolan is clutching for his head. Tom Picorni waving his arms helplessly as he can't help but acknowledge that one might have caught Nolan high, and he's pointing to the referees. Quite perturbed is number 4, swatting the puck away as he heads off the ice. The referees are going to toss him. Here, Tom Picorni heading to the locker room early. And a brutal hit there along the boards. Joe Nolan was grabbing for his head, not sure if he too will be tended to at the bench area. It doesn't look like he's really feeling too many after effects, but I'm not sure.
Gotta hope Joe Nolan is okay. Clearly getting hit from behind by Picorni on that play. Bobcats will be without Picorni for the remainder of this game. Going to be a game misconduct for either boarding or checking from behind.
And that is bad news for the Bobcats, who only had 5 defensemen to start things off here. 4 left on the blue line for the Bobcats. And unless they get creative, they could throw a guy like Jenkins back there to spell some of their defenders for a few moments, but they're going to have to be very conservative with how they dish out ice time here in the remainder of this hockey game.
A lot of quick changes, I would imagine.
You got a big forward unit up front that will help smooth things over, but at the end of the day, asking 4 defensemen to try to cover ground for what normally would be 6 or 7 is a tall order, to be certain.
Like you said, I would imagine we would see Garrett Jenkins getting some ice time defensively.
So Illinois, the real winners of all the madness that just ensued. 5-minute power play for the Illini as a result of that Picorni aggression. The Bobcats will be killing off the Illini's power play for most of the end of this period of just over 5 minutes left. And Nick Gross with all day to make a play with the puck, roofing one over the head of several players. Back off the boards on the other side of the ice.
Absolutely crucial. Last 5 minutes of this period, Illinois will be on the power play for 4 of them. If Ohio can make it out of this, that would be a huge momentum swing moving forward in this game, especially getting those defensemen, just 4 of them now, a break heading into the second intermission.
David Kellner already with 1 here on the evening for the Illini. Has the puck on his stick, leaves it for Kolaz. Back to the point. Nolan has it on the other side of the ice, tipped out in front by Ernsting. The assistant captain loses the puck to Palasic, dumped in by the Bobcats and heading to the bench and out for some fresh air. It's Brian Lubin, Nick Gross, Grant Hazel, and Timmy Thurnell.
Here comes their instinct.
3:15 remaining on the power play for the Illini. Ohio trying to get through what was a slap in the face with a 5-minute penalty. Tom Picorni out for the remainder of the evening. And with 4 defensemen on the back end, Ohio looking good in the beginning of this 5-minute kill. McGing walking it down low. Nolan back to McGing. Cross ice. Nice feed for Cruikshank to the net. Another shot by Ernsting in the slot. Kicked away by Thomas. McGing looking for options. Gives it off to Ernsting. Bayard in the lane. Poked away by Evangelisti. Catching up to it was Cruikshank. And he asked for the puck. Instead, Opelka sends it Thomas's way.
This is what Ohio can't let happen. Illinois knows they're short on defensemen. They're going to cycle this puck around, tire out Ohio, and try and get to the middle of the ice.
Sean Bayard giving relief to Jimmy Thomas. Whistle as the net comes off the mooring, exactly what Ohio needed, as they looked absolutely gassed there. Illinois possessing the puck for the better of 2 minutes in the offensive zone. Ohio keeping them off the board with 3:08 remaining in the period. If Ohio can kill off this 5-minute power play, that would be a huge momentum booster heading into the third.
Absolutely. They have 1:57 remaining on that McCorney game misconduct.
Trudging along for the Illini is Kellner, poked out of harm's way by Thomas. Richter catching up to the biscuit, leaving it for Salk. And sliding through the crease to the corner goes the puck. Richter with it on his stick once more. Nolan into the circle. Down low for Kolas. On the left side, cycling with the puck is Richter. And they'll dish it back to Kolas. Up top, quarterback for Nolan. Shot off the post. Jimmy Thomas watches it back to the hash. And another save by that iron. And he's liked his way here with this Cage on this side of the ice, making some big stops for number 30 in the Bobcats. With a minute left on the power play. That one trickling through a number of bodies. Grant Hazel off of McGing. And Cody Black sees it all the way down the ice. Bobcats get fresh legs out there as Evangelisti and Palasics are joined by Nick Gross and Sean Bayard.
Yeah, Ohio's going to have to lean on all 4 of their defensemen, but especially Grant Hazel and Jake Fiala here.
Strong play by Ernsting. And he can't evade the Bobcats forever. They knock him off his spot and get it out of the zone. Evangelisti and Mike Palasics first in for the Bobcats. Opelka able to strip number 7 of the puck up to Forfar and into the zone around the boards to the other side, right in front of that Athens grand sign. Gross high off the glass. Fans wincing as they thought that one was coming into the stands. And the Bobcats getting a standing ovation here as they kill off a 5-minute penalty to Tom Picorni. Back at even strength as 1 minute remains in the period. And that was a huge kill for the Bobcats. We saw the Illini take a penalty with a minute remaining last period right now. Ohio looking for a similar turn of events here in the final 42 seconds. As that one is whistle dead, icing. And Ohio will have to catch their breaths in their own zone. 42 seconds separating them from the locker room. And what can they do off the face-off to get this puck down quickly and try to get off a shot or two before the end of the period even?
I think they got to first win this face-off, obviously, but I don't expect them to try anything extravagant. They're just going to play and get to the room, get some rest, get some fresh legs, come back in the third.
Illinois' Novacell taking down the Bobcats in their own end. That one delicately through the rafters in play on the other side of the ice. Up for Muskaluk. Quinn with the puck on his stick. Backhanding one to the net. And off the boards, played on by Hazel. Stick goes flying to the corner. Harkins out with the puck. He finds Rudin with 5 seconds remaining, and it's whistled dead. And the Bobcats can't believe it. Referees taking away a final-ditch effort by Matt Rudin with a whistle, and a high stick is what the call is.
Grant Hazel and Stephen Quinn got tied up behind the play there. Hazel off to the box.
So Grant Hazel to the box, and I might have spoke too quickly there. We talked about that momentum shift with the power play at the end of the period. It was the Bobcats who were the ones who took the penalty.
Unfortunate, Grant Hazel going off for cross-checking at 19:55 of the second period. Illinois have a chance to win a face-off here. Huge round of applause. I presume someone just got ejected.
We will have to wait to see. They're not really quite sure what the fans were clamoring about there at the end of the period. Regardless, 2-2 hockey game at the end of 2. We said the same thing at the end of 1. It has really been an even matchup here this weekend. Illinois and Ohio fighting to the death. Shots 19-18 in favor of the orange and blue, but nonetheless the score remains knotted at 2 thanks to goals in the second period by both the Bobcats and the Illini.
Yeah, back and forth second period, much like the first. Mike Plasic's able to find the back of the net there for Ohio. Exciting stuff. I'm sure we're going to have an exciting final 20 minutes.
It's going to be a thriller, that's for sure. Senior weekend here at Ohio University. Mike Plasic's already on the board here tonight. We'll see if Jake Fiala and Drew Crandall can join him in the third period. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back here with more coverage on Ohio Bobcats intermission report. 2-2 at the end of 2. Back at Bird Arena, tie hockey game after 2 periods of play. We just saw those green pucks rain down on us. Our good friend, Mr. Michael Barber, getting pretty close. I don't think he won tonight's contest, though. He has won 2 out of the last 3 nights, though, so that is definitely something special. A real talent, to be sure, some which that I wish I could do as well as he.
Yeah,
so,
I wish I could chuck a puck just as good as Mike.
He is one of the best in the business. And we talk about some other key contributors to tonight's affair. Senior night at Ohio University. Mike Pulisic, Drew Crandall, and Jake Fayella all being honored here. Pulisic getting on the score sheet to tie this hockey game up at 2. And we are there at the end of 2 periods of play. Illinois out here on the power play to start things off in the 3rd period. Grant Hazel called on the cross check. So the Illini will have a minute 53 to work with to start things off. The Bobcats killing off a huge 5-minute power play after the penalty to Tom Picorni. His night will end early to the locker rooms, and the shower goes number 4, Tom Picorni. And the Bobcats went to the PK, and they did a great job. Illinois with some pressure at points during that 5-minute stretch, but the Bobcats held the fort, were resilient, were able to get to the loose biscuits and keep Illinois at bay. And as we look forward to that start to the 3rd period too, Ohio's going to have to do much of the same if they want to keep things close. Whoever scores next is probably going to have the leg up to win the hockey game.
Yeah, next goal is going to be huge. I think another thing we have to take into consideration as we enter the last 20 minutes of play here is how important it's going to be for each team to stay out of the box. Neither team can really stay out of the box with any sort of consistency. Huge turning point in the game for Ohio to be able to kill off that Picorni penalty. Obviously, it's 5-minute major, so the penalty doesn't go away after 1 goal or 2 goals. They would have had an opportunity to score for the duration of that power play had they scored. But great penalty killing by Ohio. Storyline to watch this period is going to be how do they utilize their defensemen. Nick Gross, Sean Baird, Grant Hazel, Jake Fayella, the only 4 healthy defensemen that are in the lineup as of right now. Tom Picorni, like we mentioned, being ejected from this game. Someone's going to have to drop back and play defense. Zach Crane, Garrett Jenkins, 2 guys who come to mind. We'll see if Sean rolls it forward, but I'd imagine he drops someone back there for 50 for at least maybe the second half of the period.
Well, the good news is this is Saturday night and not Friday, so if Ohio can make it through 20 more minutes shorthanded, they might find themselves victorious and in no need to panic. But at the end of the day, it is going to be a daunting task for the final 20. Illinois with some good feet underneath them, moving the puck very well tonight and badgering the Bobcats in the offensive zone. 19-18 are the shots in favor of the orange and blue, and we're going to send it back down to the ice. Both sides coming out for the start of action in the 3rd period. Jimmy Thomas giving his pipes a tap as Jake Barnhart does the same on the opposite side. And as we mentioned, Ohio shorthanded to start things off. Grant Hazel in the box, and that further complicates matters for the Bobcats blue line, considering Hazel was one of their most formidable penalty killers. Out here in his place is Nick Gross and Jake Fayella.
Yeah, absolutely a penalty that Ohio did not want to take, especially after that huge kill. Nick Gross on the ice now. Evangelista going to take this face-off. It's a big one. Jake Fayella playing up at the right wing to start this power play. The penalty kill formation rather for Ohio.
And 20 minutes to decide who will win this hockey game starts right now. Illinois up ahead off the face-off at the red line to start action in the 3rd period. Eric Cruikshank has the puck on his stick, feeds it to Richter, who cannot connect with Opilka at the point, out of the zone. And the assistant captain for the Illini will have to retreat. He feeds Richter, who is able to work around Matt Rudin in his number 10. And back out goes the puck. Opilka watching it over the goal line. And Illinois will have to re-break one more time. Forfar with a half-hearted attempt. Timothy now off the turnover, keeping Opilka at bay. Forfar with the big hit to jar. They're now off the puck. Illinois gets it out. That is Stu. Up to Kolas. And sent away by Fayella. He got a piece of that up high as the puck heads back to the point. Ernsting walking the line like Johnny Cash, leaving it for Colas. Shot! Net loose, and we're going to get a whistle and a big release by Nolan. Glad to see he's back in the contest for the Illini. He was out earlier on that Tom Picorni hit, and he unleashed a dandy that Jimmy Thomas was able to step in front of for the whistle. 18:40 remaining in the contest, a minute 20 dripping off the clock on the power play for the Illini. They will have 35 seconds to work with on the man advantage. Fed off the face-off to Nolan. Touch pass back to Ernsting. Shot by number 24, Sales, wide right of Thomas. Another play by the Illini. Stuve trying to find Kellner out in front. Picking up the puck is 25 and feeding it back to the point. Ernsting over to Colas. Illinois working the man advantage here as they have a couple more ticks to work with. Up a man, 2-2 is the score. Ernsting trying to find somebody out front, looking for Colas and Kellner. That puck ricochets off number 19's skate to Jimmy Thomas for the whistle.
Huge kill there by Ohio. Grant Hazel comes back onto the ice. It's quickly replaced by Tyler Harkins. The clears are ever so important on this power play, especially when you're having the lack of bodies that Ohio does defensively. 18:03 remaining in regulation. Tie game 2-2.
And Ohio gets the kill on the power play. Another successful 2 minutes of penalty killing time for the Bobcats. 5 aside now as Ohio sends his second line out. Countering for the Illini is the fourth line of Stephen Quinn, Muskalak, Novacell, Opilka, and Caprio. Rudin taking the feed through the neutral zone, flicking one past Barnhart. Collecting the puck was Muskalak. And Stuve could not pick it up along the blue line. Over to Cody Black. And badgering on the forecheck was Stuve. Ohio cleanly out of the zone. Back into safe territory as Tyler Harkins gets it up ahead.
Both teams playing very aggressive to start the third period. You would think that with the next goal being so important, both teams might play back. Well, just the opposite has happened to start the third period.
Rattling around in the neutral zone. Evangelesti coming away with it. Cross-ice Toother now as they gain entry. To the corner goes number 7. They're now in for the assist. And wrapping around and pinching was Sean Bayard. Illinois safeguards the puck and gets it into Ohio's zone. Jimmy Thomas will settle and leave it for Hazel.
Got to get that puck out.
Some trouble for the Bobcats on the exit. Finally able to move the puck ahead. Down behind Barnhart and back to the bench for the Bobcats. We're going to get a whistle here as the referees blow this one dead. Having a word with a few Illini as Fabrini tries to figure out what's going on.
Early indications were from chatter on the ice that it was too many men. And we will have number 11 off to the box, Charlie Salk. He had an assist on the final Illini goal last night. We're waiting to see what this penalty is assessed.
That is, if it is a too many men penalty for the Illini, that is the second too many men penalty they've taken this weekend.
It is too many men, Shane.
Coach Hogan, thank you for the clarification. Coach Hogan was irate last night on the bench about the fact that the refs were not catching that discrepancy by the Illini. They were sending multiple skaters down the ice at different junctures of the game. Finally whistled for it late in the third period of last night's contest. And in the third period here tonight, the refs catch Illinois cheating once again. Cannot have 6 guys on the ice unless there's not a goaltender.
It's such a tough penalty to take in such a close game, too. Illinois head coach Nick Ferrini not pleased with his group.
This could be the spark that the Bobcats need. Evangelisti finds a loose puck from the scrum and works it back to the other side of the ice, looking for space. Is number 7, and he whiffs on one. That one will go into the netting for a whistle. 15:36 left in the contest, a minute 12 remaining on the power play for the Bobcats. They will keep the same men on the ice and replace their infantry members on the blue line. Timmy Thurnell and Nick Gross coming out here to play the point for Coach Hogan.
We'll see if Thurnell plays any more time on defense for the rest of this period or if it's just a power play strategy.
I know we have only seen him back there for about 3 seconds right out the drop of that faceoff, but from his move to his left, it looks like he can handle that point position no problemo. So Timmy Thurnell could be the answer to the Elling Bobcats defense if they so choose to give their man a breather. Shot from Evangelesi, stick kicked away by Barnhart to the corner. In on the puck is number 16, Timmy Thurnell. He catches up to it and promptly cedes it to Tyler Opilka. And Opilka able to move it all the way down the ice, chew up some more clock. 25 seconds remaining on the Bobcats power play. Kellner and Muskulak in for the Illini, and a nice stretch pass trying to find Cody Black. He may have gotten a touch on the puck, but he could not get all of it. Illinois corrals and rifles it back to Jimmy Thomas. 5 seconds and counting, and Ohio will not be able to score on this man advantage. The Salt comes out of the box, shot by Lubin, safeguarded by Barnhart. Going the other way is Kolaz, putting the brakes on and feeding Salk, and he cannot get much on that one. Sailing wide right of the cage goes the biscuit.
Yeah, Charlie Salk got to find a way to put that puck on the net after an excellent centering pass there from Joe Nolan. Joe Nolan been an offensive presence all weekend and defensively as well.
Cody Black takes a tumble back to his 2 feet as he readjusts. Puck goes the other way, and Salk still on the ice for the Illini. Leaves it for Quinn, trying to turn and burn with that puck was number 7, Stephen Quinn. Bobcats tie him up and get it out. Plasix over the red line, chipping it past Rittendale and heading to the bench. Out is Elmore, touching the puck to Gross. Nick Gross leading the charge. Shot by Gross through a couple bodies. Loved away by Barnhart, but he could not squeeze it for the whistle. Back to the crease. Shot out in front by Lampron. Puck loose once more. And Barnhart washes it helplessly to the wall. Able to stay up long enough to make the save. Fiala has the puck at his stick, blocked by Rittendale. Gross looking for Lampron. An open cage to Lampron's right. He would have had a good opportunity to slide that one home had they connected. Instead, it'll go into the netting.
Yeah, a couple of nice stick checks there by Illinois here to start the third period. 13:01 remaining. And that one, like you said, have had a pretty high percentage shot for Gabe Lampron.
Trying again are the Bobcats. Off the face-off through Crandall. Taking charge for the green and white. Illinois on the pushback gets it back out to the neutral zone with the puck on their sticks. They will walk it in to the Bobcats' end. Breaking out for Ohio is Crandall over the blue line to Garrett Jenkins, and up for Evangelisti, and he takes it wide and turns around with it, spinning off Opilka and working off Ernsting. He gets the puck to Fiala over the stick of Fiala, and he will corral it once more. Shot by Jake, saved by Barnhart. Loose biscuit back to the boards and out to the neutral zone.
Yeah, Jake Fiala with a couple of nice keeps there. Here he comes again.
Fiala, we talked about his readiness to take on a more leading role for the Bobcats if instructed to on offense. He is leading the charge out here in place of Tom Picorni, who was administering much of the Ohio's entrance from the blue line earlier this weekend. Picorni no longer with the Bobcats for the remainder of the night. Tossed in the second period after a high hit on Joe Nolan. And Ohio have to work with what they have here. Matt Rudin dragged down on the play. Joe Nolan, speaking of the devil, was the one to make the stop. We are coming up on the 10-minute mark of the third period. Game still tied as shots are 24-23 in favor of the Bobcats.
Ohio really having to get creative with how they step up on the rush. So a big part of their game plan is defensemen playing down the ice, playing a full 200-foot game, and it's tough to do when you only have 4 active.
Richter in the third line out here for the Illini. Kellner having a trouble getting back to his feet, and Nolan watches it all the way back to his own end, icing on the Bobcats. And a whistle face-off will come down to Jimmy Thomas's left.
10:48 remaining in this one. Almost everything identical statistically speaking in this game. 2 goals apiece. Ohio leads on the shot clock 24-23. Had a pair of excellent games this weekend. Thanks for joining us once again. Ethan Graham and Shane Dazen here with you.
Here on AVW Presents Hockey for the second of 2 games against the Illini. We mentioned during last night's contest that the Bobcats were 10-3 on the season when winning the first contest of the series, including 7-2 when those contests are at home. So we'll see if they can extend their run of good luck against teams at Bird Arena. As Stuve tried to stymie Thomas. Jimmy Thomas there for the save. Opilka in on the action as well.
Yeah, Opilka is the guy Ohio has to keep track of every time he's on the ice. He's had himself an excellent offensive showing here tonight, been involved in many scoring chances as number 22 of the Illini.
Backhanded by Kolaz over the head of Thomas, and he backs into his own crease trying to find the stick as the Bobcats head up the ice with it. Cody Black, Gabe Lampron, and Garrett Elmore out here. And Elmore is tied up by Forfar and Kolaz. He will retreat to the neutral zone and pick up the puck. Cody Black in off the stick of Lampron. Frank and Thurnal out here as fresh skaters for the Bobcats. Nick Gross makes a play on the puck, picked up by Ernsting. Trying to find Kellner. The 2 cannot connect. Jimmy Thomas falls on it in his crease for the save.
Yeah, Jimmy Thomas, smart play there to just freeze the puck, slow things down. Neither team taking a real advantage in pace of play this period, which is especially impressive considering Ohio already short on bodies, and then that game misconduct making them even shorter. 9:30 remaining in regulation. It's a 2-2 game.
To the point for Rittendale. He'll direct one to Salk. Down low. Up top for Nolan. Pressured by Thurnal. On the backhand to Kellner in the slot. Turning around and finding an angry Timmy Turneau in his face. As Kellner now makes a stop. Blowing up. Salk was Evangelisti, and he is slow to get up.
That was a scary hit. Gianni Evangelisti caught Charlie Salk knee on knee. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but scary play nonetheless.
Looks to be okay as he receives pressure from Richter. The 2 continue to push and shove as the puck goes into the rafters for a whistle. Evangelisti taking exception to both Salk and Richter's aggressions.
Evangelisti not a guy we usually see in the middle of these scrums, and he's unfortunately going to be sent off to the box along with Drew Richter. Offsetting penalties.
The refs clearly not putting up with any antics this weekend. Quick to draw the whistle on both parties. The minute they start exchanging pleasantries. And as we've seen so many times this weekend, 4-on-4 hockey here at Bird Arena. 8:45 remaining in the contest. We talk about opening the ice up. Illinois, who plays on a much larger Olympic-sized surface over in Champaign, knows how to work with a little extra space. The Bobcats used to playing in crammed quarters. Not really sure who this favors here. Both sides pretty fast-paced hockey clubs. At the end of the day, it could come down to who gets a lucky bounce or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Look for those puck battles. It's key, especially late in the game, tie game. Got to win puck battles.
4 orange, 4 white Kreuzshank, Rittendale, McGing, and Nolan for the Illini. Lubin, Rudin, Hazel, and Fiella for the Bobcats. Rittendale with the shot. The captain hits the other captain, Jake Fiella. Cannot get it to Jimmy Thomas. The Bobcats are able to get out of the zone, but they take an icing. The face-off will come back down number 30's way.
Illini head coach Nick Fabrini clearly upset with the referees. He's been giving it to him all night. Quite frankly, both benches have, deservedly so. A very interesting game, I will say, in terms of officiating. I was talking with Cristiano, the Illini broadcaster, before the game. We both agreed upon that. Some interesting calls. Referees quick with the whistle this weekend, that's for sure, Shane.
Anytime you get two CHL heavyweights up against each other, you know things are going to get dicey. The refs trying their best to keep things clean here as they want an orderly hockey contest. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to let boys be boys.
Yeah, you got to let them play. I'd really hate to see officiating become a huge part of this last 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
30 seconds remaining on the matching penalties to both sides. 4 skaters apiece. Cody Black, one of them for the Bobcats. He's joined by Tyler Harkins, and you like these two little speedsters out here for Ohio. What they lack in size, they make up for in effort and intensity. Some of Ohio's most tenacious players. Mike Palasic filling in for Black, another one of Ohio's true weapons. Already on the board here tonight. Playing catch with Tyler Harkins on the right side of the ice, walking it to the center, leaving it for Fiella. That one through the crease. Barnhart loses his mask, and he looks on in disgust, as the whistle is blown. Dead on the play, 6:35 left in the third period.
Jake Barnhart's been playing a really strong game tonight, and he played strong last night in the third period. Did allow a goal, but overall played well. Stopped 23 of 25 here tonight. Nice 920 save percentage.
Yeah, Barnhart, as we mentioned, coming into tonight's contest, a .8 goals against, 952 save percentage. Some of the better numbers from any backup in the CSCHL and the ACHA. And he has followed it up with another dandy here tonight, keeping Illinois close in this hockey game, filling in very, very admirably for Heflin.
Illinois is a team to watch out for moving forward in the ACHA tournament. Kind of like pitching in baseball, you can't have enough goaltending, and Illinois might have to lean on their two backups here as we get late in the season, and Ross Lippick and Jake Barnhart. Still a dangerous team, though. Those guys have some ridiculous stat lines, only 8 games between the two of them.
As we look at the numbers here, not including this weekend's affairs, Illinois heading into the weekend with 115 goals on the board, only 59 goals against. That's a nice disparity, to be certain. Obviously, they're down 2 in that column after the 5-3 drudging by the Bobcats last night. But at the end of the day, still solid marks for the Illini at 28-2 on the season, trying to play catch up as they look to make some noise in the CSCHL tournament here at Burt Arena in a few weeks. Currently sitting at 3rd in the division, and they're going to be meeting the second team, Robert Morris, coming up here shortly. They will be playing next week. Ohio in on the zone, and Evangelesti cannot pull the trigger. He tucked it to his backhand, looked to have Barnhart beat to the right-hand side of the cage. But nonetheless, for one reason or another, the puck stayed on his stick. Timothy now catching up to it and leaving one out for Elmore. Bobcats in the zone with some space to operate. Illinois able to push them back out past the blue line. But nonetheless, Ohio dumps it back in.
Illinois just dodged a bullet right there on that Evangelesti scoring chance. Beautiful feed from Fiella, too. He's not going to miss that shot twice as Evangelesti.
5 minutes left in the contest. Gabe Lampron in the third line out here for Ohio. Cody Black catches up to the biscuit. Sean Bayard cannot keep it in the offensive zone. Ohio will have to touch up and head back in.
Bayard's got to win this puck battle.
Sean Bader elects to throw his body on the ice and try to take away the passing lane, instead recognizing he could not catch up to the biscuit. And fortunately for Ohio, Richter could not connect with Stu. Caprio calling for the puck at the point, shot low, away from Thomas to the right-hand wall. Looking on is McGing, picked up by Gross and settled by Lampron. He will dump it in and come off for a change.
Can you feel the intensity in this building, Shane? We're just over 4 minutes left, tie game. We've not had an overtime game here yet at Bird Arena, at least that we've called, but man, things are close.
Tense moments here on senior weekend. The balance of the contest in hand with 4 minutes left. Game still tied up at 2. Drew Crandall in the fourth line out here for the Bobcats. That one hitting off the rafters. We're going to get a whistle. 3:51 remaining in the period. Face-off coming out. Back to the Illini zone.
That one coming off the 1996 ACHA National Championship banner. Ohio almost added another one last year, fell to Central Oklahoma in the finals. But if you can make your way up to Columbus for that ACHA tournament, Ohio's going to have a good chance to make a run.
And the puck goes in the back of the net. And an incredibly lucky bounce for the Bobcats. Zach Frank in the right place at the right time off the feed from Fiala. I think they're going to give it to Jake initially here. We'll see if anything changes on that. It looked like Zach Frank did get a piece of the puck out in front, but Fiala first to the bench. He was the one who took the initial shot.
Never a bad play, Shane,
I don't
to put the puck on the net. Jake Fiala did just that.
I don't think Ohio really cares who scored.
No, absolutely
not. All that
not.
matters is that they take a 3-2 lead with under 4 minutes to play. We were talking about how there hasn't been an overtime game yet here at Bird Arena. Ohio must have heard us from all the way up in the nest, because they promptly answer with their third of the evening. Shot from Fiala may or may not have been tipped by Frank. We'll get the call here by our PA announcer, Jake.
Going to be awarded to Fiala.
And I think that is very fitting here on senior weekend. Jake Fiala joining Mike Pulisic in scoring here tonight. 2/3 of that senior cohort is on the board. And if Ohio can keep Illinois out of the zone and off the board for the next minute, 2 minutes or so, you got to believe that they're going to try to get Crandall out there to get in on the fun too.
There's still plenty of time left to be worrying about that sort of thing. 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. Illinois, offensively potent team, offensively capable. They've shown it here this weekend. Ohio has to play some huge defensive minutes right now.
And that is why hockey is a 60-minute game. Excuse me. You cannot cease playing until the final whistle and the horn sounds. Ohio continuing to badger the Illini for a few more minutes here as they look for the 26th victory of the season, what would be their 8th in a row. Started off the second half losing 3 of their first 4 contests and have come back with more than a few dandies, taking down the likes of Pitt, taking down the likes of the teams like Robert Morris, and hoping to dispatch the Illini here this weekend as well.
Getting word now that final goal was assisted by Cody Black and Drew Crandall. Drew getting it on the scoring this senior weekend. That's final for Black and Crandall.
Crandall with his 10th point of the season. That is a new career high for Drew. So some personal bests for number 15 on his senior night. His 6th assist of the year on the Fiala goal. And it is erased just like that. Too much of a good thing came too quickly. Illinois souring the mood here at Bird Arena by burying the biscuit in the basket. James McGing with the goal to knot this one up. Once again, 2:19 left in the contest. The Illini strike here at Bird Arena.
Yeah, James McGing's looked good all night along that blue line. Is there? He uses some power skating and sneaks that puck by Jimmy Thomas. I don't know if Jimmy Thomas even saw that one, but we still have time for the dramatics. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left remaining here at Bird Arena. Ohio controls this faceoff. Lamprod plays it back for Baird. Baird will look to get it up the ice, dump it in, and out of play. Almost a scary dump. That one into the away penalty box. So that puck will be sent back to the ice. 2:13 remaining in this game. Tie game. Ohio down in shots, 32-26. We rarely see them trail in the shot clock, Shane.
Illinois with 13 shots this period. Quietly able to rip off a lot of rubber. Jimmy Thomas making some key stops, but unable to keep Illinois from tying this hockey game thanks to James McGing. And with 2 minutes left, Illinois re-enters the zone, flipped one from the stick of Joey Rittendale over the right shoulder of Jimmy Thomas. To the corner it goes. Cycling for the Illini is Kolaz and Kellner. Joining them is Ernsting. Back up top for Rittendale. And that one is a little wide right off the back end. Bobcats trying to get it out of the zone here. Illinois looking for the lead with nary time left in the game. We'll see what the Illini can do to counter here and what the Bobcats can do to try to keep them away from Jimmy Thomas.
Fatigue definitely setting in for Ohio. Will be something to pay attention to if Ohio can't get this one done in regulation. Like we've mentioned a number of times, only 4 defensemen.
Rittendale loses his stick. And Illinois is up with it. Stephen Quinn hugging the puck along the boards in the corner. Novosel there to help him out. Turned over to the Bobcats. Rudin trying to get it out of the zone, kept nicely by Moskaluk. And Evangelisti trying to find a streaking Matt Rudin. And we're going to get a whistle here, icing. That face-off will head back down to the Bobcats' defensive zone.
Shane, that 6th goal of the hockey game, the third one for Illinois, scored by James McGing, assisted by Joey Caprio and Eric Cruikshank. That is McGing from Caprio and Cruikshank.
This is a crucial face-off for both sides. Ohio trying to get the puck out. Illinois trying to keep it in. First to the biscuit is the orange and blue shot by number 13, James McGing. Saved by Jimmy Thomas. Watching it over to the other side of the ice is the netminder for the Bobcats. Nick Gross gets it to the point, but not before Caprio keeps it in. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the horn will sound at the end of 3. Somebody hit the Buffalo Wild Wings go button because we're going to have a little OT here at Bird Arena. This has been such a good series. You hate to see it end that way. So we're going to get some bonus hockey here as both sides head to the bench for a quick relief.
Yeah, and much needed break for Ohio. You can tell they're starting to get very fatigued in the final 5-10 minutes of that period. I mean, wow, what a game. That late goal by Jake Fila put Ohio ahead with about 3 minutes left. This is by Cody Block and Drew Crandall, and then just a couple shakes of a lamb's leg later, James McGing, Joey Caprio, and Eric Cruikshank combining for that 6th goal of the game to make it 3-3. Back and forth hockey this weekend. You gotta love it. This is what they play for.
Illinois looking for its 21st victory of the season. An overtime win would give them just that. Ohio, as we mentioned, seeking its 8th straight and its 26th of the year. Jimmy Thomas has been every bit as good as Barnhart here tonight, having to make a few more saves. For Ohio was number 30, but both goaltenders equal to the part. You talk about Ohio with 4 defensemen left after Tom Picorni is thrown from the game. Jake Houston still absent from the lineup for Coach Hogan. We saw Timmy Thurnell with some tick on the back end in the 3rd period. I don't know if that's a strategy they will look to employ here as overtime ensues. But at the end of the day, Ohio sure is looking forward to getting back on the ice and trying to end this one early so they don't have to run into any of those problems.
Shay, when we talk 3-on-3 hockey strategy versus 5-on-5 hockey strategy, much more open ice, got to take care of the puck.
Harkins and Cody Black trying to get on the same page. Fella out here with them. 3-on-3 hockey. One of the ACHA and some other professional leagues' greatest novelties. 3 aside. Things really open up here when you get this much room to work with. Ohio has 3 of its favorites on the ice. Cody Black shooting the puck loose for Tyler Harkins. Ohio starts this one off with a bang. Forfar wheeling the wagon, trying to catch up to Ohio's quick strike offense. Setting up shop. Down low is Black, taking it from the right to the left and back up top. And turning with it is number 18, leaving it for Fiala. Trying to give it to Harkins. And picked by Fiala in the left circle. Played away by Opilka. Behind the net goes the assistant captain. He will start the breakout for the Illini. 1 minute off the clock in the overtime. Illinois with its first entry into the Bobcat zone. McGing around a couple guys trying to wrap it, and a big stick save there by Rudin. Able to kick it back to the corner. Matt Rudin with the awareness to get back and help his goaltender out.
Just inches from this game being over, Shane, was that McGing wraparound attempt.
Joey Rittendale, James McGing, Eric Cruikshank out here for the Illini. Over the blue line is Cruikshank. And he tries to walk it to the center of the ice. Shot by number 15, sailing wide right of Thomas. Behind the net is McGing, spinning off Evangelisti, but not being able to get around Gross. Bobcats cannot get the puck out of the zone. Rittendale catching up to it, backhanding one for McGing. Kolaz picking it up along the boards. Out here for the Illini is Drew Richter, and leading him was Kolaz. Puck still loose. Ohio dead out here as they finally get one off. Rudin back to the bench, slapping one from behind the net to the top of the zone was Brian Lubin, and the ref got in his way.
Yeah, the ref screening Brian Lubin right there. Unfortunate, but not going to end up mattering for Ohio. Ohio desperately needed that change. Go with Lubin, Harkins, and Fiala out there. A lot of speed in Ohio's forwards right now in this 3-on-3.
Halfway through the overtime, out here for the Bobcats, Jake Fiala, Brian Lubin, and Tyler Harkins trying their best to keep Illinois away from Thomas. Dragged down was Kolaz. Up for Nolan in the circle. Back to Kolaz. Shot tipped by Kellner and trickles out and over the blue line. Ohio with a break as Illinois will have to regroup in the neutral zone. Coming back in is Kellner. He has trouble taking that one down low, leaving it for Opilka. Lubin cannot knock him off the puck. Shot by Ernsting over Thomas.
Got to put it on the net if you're Illinois. Got to find a way to put that one on net.
A minute and a half remaining in the overtime period. A shootout to follow if neither side can score. Ohio right now having tons of pressure in the defensive zone, doing whatever they can to try to get this one out and get their guys off the ice. These 3 men have been out here for a while. Puck loose in front of Thomas, able to make the initial save, and Opilka wishing he could have that one back. He roofed it out in front all alone. Only Thomas to beat. Nonetheless, 1:12 left on the clock. And Ohio really scratching their heads here. This overtime has not gone the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, Opilka had the game on his stick right there. A wide open net, but Air nailed it. Good to see Jake Fiala get off the ice. He was absolutely dead on that last shift. Very out of energy. But freshman meet out here on the ice for Ohio. Cody Black loses that faceoff.
We're rocking and rolling here at Byrd Arena. Crowd getting behind their home team. Cruikshank has his shot blocked by Thurnell. With a minute remaining in the period, Ohio's Nick Gross, Cody Black, and Timmy Thurnell are on the ice. For Coach Hogan. Away from the play goes Black. 2-on-2. And he leaves it for Thurnell. Shot by Thurnell, blocked away by Kolaz. Catching up to it and strong arming off of Kolaz is Thurnell. Number 26 recovers.
Here comes
to strip
Illinois.
him of the puck. Illinois down the other side of the ice. Kolaz played off by Gross, and it goes over the goal line to give the Fighting Illini the win. Jimmy Thomas making the initial save, but not being able to make the final as Illinois comes away with a tough-fought, gritty 4-3 overtime W here on Saturday night at Byrd Arena to salvage the two-game series. Jimmy Thomas having a tough time with that one. A valiant effort in the cage for the sophomore netminder, making 33 stops here tonight. But the one that gets away is the one that will give Illinois the W, and he is really having a tough time there. Not his fault whatsoever. He had a great night in the pipes for his team. At the end of the day, somebody's got to score.
Yeah, hell of an effort by both teams. Illinois able to come out on top, really establish themselves in the second half of that overtime period. And unfortunately for Ohio, they're going to go home losing this game tonight, but not because of some great individual efforts. Talk about late game dramatics. Jake Violet takes the lead there late in the game. Ohio unfortunately gives it right back up, and it looked like we might have been going to a shootout there, but Illinois very persistent on crashing the net. It's been a strategy that's worked for them all weekend, and it won them the game right there. 4-3 our final.
Jake Viola able to knot that one back up late in the third period. The crowd was really feeling it at that juncture. Ohio giving up the lead to Illinois. They come back and win the game in overtime. And at the end of the day, like we said, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. It wasn't anybody's fault in particular. This was a great series of games this weekend, and I think both sides really did deserve to come away with something from these two contests. Both sides getting a victory. Ohio stretching it to overtime, which is in itself, some solace they can take in that effort. So playing with four defensemen, already a couple men down, dealing with the adversity, to be able to drag this one out and to make it as interesting as it could be, to keep the crowd on their feet here during this special senior weekend. We wish you get the result for the guys who are leaving the program here at the end of the year, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that everybody is still as united as they were prior to the L. So at the end of the day, great weekend here at Byrd Arena. Can't say enough about the action. Mike Pulasic getting on the board earlier here tonight. He had 3 on the weekend. Mike Pulasic is 12th, 13th, and 14th of the season. Mike Pulasic was joined by Jake Fell, as we mentioned. Bobcats defenseman able to get on the board as well during his senior night. Tyler Harkins scores as well for the Cats, extending his lead to 16. That paces all Bobcats scores. Illinois with 4 of their own. I thought that a couple guys had some really nice weekends. Caprio had a goal and an assist this weekend. He looked really well. Rittendale was able to get a tally during last night's game. Kellner as well was in on the action. He replaced Chance Homrin very nicely in the lineup during that third line position for the Fighting Illini. Credit Barnhart for his start tonight.
That's what stands out to me.
Barnhart's start tonight was crucial. It was huge. It was the answer that they needed coming off their starting goaltender going down in what was a tough game last night. They needed somebody to step up and really lead the charge, and he was the answer for them.
Yeah, I mean, talk about coming in a tough spot last night. Illinois blows that lead after Heflin goes down. Unable to preserve that lead was Barnhart, but doesn't let him rattle him. Comes back in here tonight, makes a decent amount of saves, plays well enough to give Illinois a win. Made some huge saves at times. I know he's faced with a lot of power play opportunities of Ohio's, and he was able to save a majority of those pucks. Did let in a power play goal, but I mean, what a performance this weekend by Jake Barnhart. It takes a lot of mental toughness to do what he did this weekend.
He remains perfect on the season, 6-0 for #1 for the Illini. I am sure we'll hear his name in the next few seasons to come. Plenty of great hockey left in his tank. A couple weeks from now, we're going to have the CSCHL tournament here at Bird Arena. Crazy to believe, but the regular season is over for us here on the broadcast. We have been really just thrilled to be able to broadcast these games to you guys all season long. Cannot say enough for sticking by us through all the technical difficulties, through all the word salads that we've had, through all our mistakes and our corrections, what have you. We, from the bottom of our hearts, sincerely thank you guys for continuing to support us, continue to support this hockey team. We just want to do our best to make sure that you guys have something that you can be proud of at home, and we hope that we hit the mark. But we'd like to thank you so much, as always, from our production crew, from Ethan Graham. I'm Shane Dazen. We'd like to extend our warmest welcomes to you guys as we head toward the CSCHL tournament. You can check out more hockey on ABW Presents Hockey when the tournament comes around. That'll be in a couple of weeks, 24th, 25th, and 26th, I believe. But 5 games, 2 days. It's going to be a marathon of hockey. Hopefully Ohio can do their mark, can do their best to come away with a positive result there at the end of the tournament. I'd like to add another banner here at beautiful Bird Arena and lead the charge into the ACHA National Tournament in a couple of weeks as well.
One more thing before we go off the air here. Senior night at Ohio University, definitely not ending the way that these 3 seniors wanted it to, but we wish Drew Crandall, Mike Plasix, and of course Captain Jake Fila all the best in their future endeavors. It's done here on home ice in terms of regular season games, but it's just getting started in terms of postseason tournaments, the CSCHL tournament, and then of course the ACHA National Tournament. Can't say enough about those 3 guys, their contributions to this program on and off the ice and establishing their culture. You know, talk about how lucky we are to be able to come out here most Fridays and Saturdays to call hockey games. Well, we're very lucky to call everyone on the ice, particularly those 3 seniors. I mean, this is where we got our start in hockey broadcasting, and I'll remember all these players home and away, and especially this senior class.
Yeah, you can't say enough about them being so gracious every time we're looking for an interview, every time we're trying to do a hit during practice. You know, they take it in stride. They're there to smile. They're there to have fun, and they never complain about anything. They're just as great to us as you know, they are to the rest of the community. So we'd like to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. If any family is watching, you guys have some great relations from those 3 guys specifically, but the rest of the team as well.
Yeah.
Great team, great fans, great season, great regular season. Not over yet, folks. Stay tuned for the CSCHL tournament, the ACHA National Tournament. Following that, keep forward, and Ohio Bobcats hockey will do the same. From Shane Dazen and Ethan Graham, we'd like to thank you very much, and we will be back in a few weeks here again at Bird Arena.